With 10,000 Marines and dozens of warships, the US has launched a powerful blockade of all Iranian ports. The US Central Command announced that under Trump's leadership, the US Navy is successfully blocking all ships entering and exiting Iranian ports. Reports claim that within 36 hours of the blockade, the US military has completely halted the Iranian oil economy. Although the US claims that blocking Hormuz is aimed at squeezing Iran's oil revenue, which fuels its nuclear ambitions, it will end up damaging some major Asian powers. The US-led blockade of Hormuz is being seen as a sign of aggression, as the US Navy is blocking ships of all countries having energy ties with Iranian oil. As China is the most dominant buyer of Iranian oil, the US blockade poses a threat to China's energy security. In the first 3 months of 2026 alone, Iran has exported around 145 million barrels of oil to China. The estimated Iranian revenue stands at approximately $11.5 billion. China accounts for 98% of Iranian oil exports. China has called the Hormuz blockade a dangerous and irresponsible move. In a powerful statement, Xi Jinping declared that international rule should be prevented from becoming jungle rule. He upheld the rule of law and peaceful coexistence in international waters. The Chinese government heavily criticized the military ramping up of US forces in the Strait of Hormuz, which is threatening the country's independence in carving energy deals with Iran. As per the Chinese spokesperson, controlling Hormuz is an act of limiting Iran's sovereignty. It is also jeopardizing an already fragile ceasefire. China sees the US move of blocking Iranian ports in Hormuz as a danger to the developing countries. The US-Israel war against Iran has painfully hurt the world economy, especially derailing Asian energy markets. With China and India being the major buyers of Gulf oil, the month-long war has sent oil prices through the roof, causing ripple effects in varied sectors of their economies. The government's battling hard to hold economies, while the Gulf goes through a lasting crisis and uncertainties. Diplomatic experts warn that an aggression at Hormuz can quickly derail US-China relations. China will not accept economic losses solely created by Trump. Being the biggest buyer of Iranian oil, China might take the Hormuz blockade as a direct act of aggression against itself. Donald Trump is scheduled to visit China in May 2026. Even though the US wants to keep the high-stakes upcoming meeting on track, Trump's Hormuz blockade might damage its economic ambitions. In a productive meeting in November 2025, China and the US agreed to cut their massive tariffs. Last year, after a much-awaited meeting between the two, China brought the tariffs down from 125% to 10%, whereas the US brought the tariffs on Chinese goods down to 30%. As Trump seeks to secure a stable and lasting access to Chinese rare earths while maintaining a sustainable tariff rate, a miscalculation at sea might hamper the plan. China has already hardened its tone on the US Hormuz blockade, signaling grave consequences for US. China also cautioned the US over China's alleged arms support to Iran. It declared that if the US increases tariffs on Chinese goods over this allegation, then China will take hefty countermeasures.